There are some books you choose. There are some that chooses you. The ones that whisper to you from a bookshelf, or the ones that show up right when your soul is gasping for air. These books were more than pages to me. They were a glimpse of light at a time that felt absolutely dark. If you're walking the path of spiritual awakening, inner healing, personal development, or you're just trying to feel whole again, I have been there, and today I'm sharing 5 books that literally held my hand through it. I've shared my story a couple of times, but I'll just like breeze through it. The last 5 years of my life, I've gone through spiritual awakening. At the beginning of the journey, I didn't even know there was anything called spiritual awakening. I felt led towards some books. In reading some of these books, I got to find out. So I'm choosing to share the 5 books that were like my guide. So the first book on the list is The Power of the Subconscious Mind by Joseph Murphy. This book is about how your mind works and how your thoughts project into your lived reality. Before I read this book, I didn't know, again, that the mind was divided into 2 parts, the conscious mind and the subconscious mind. And another thing this book taught me was that the conscious mind was controlled by the subconscious mind. Like, the subconscious mind holds your beliefs, your thoughts, your emotions. It literally projects into your conscious mind whatever is in there. Your subconscious mind is like a garden, which is very fertile, by the way, because it's garbage in, garbage out. Whatever you put into it is what it will give back to you. A garden that holds seeds, bears fruit, called your conscious mind. Whatever you plant must grow. So if you don't like what you're growing, you have to uproot it and plant what you like. The second book on my list is The Miracle Morning by Elrod. This book is so dear to me. At this point, I think I was depressed for like 3 years. Waking up every morning felt like work. I didn't want to wake up. I didn't even want to open the curtain to let light in. I was emotionally eating. I added so much weight. So whilst the power of the subconscious mind was dealing with my thoughts, my belief, and how I saw myself and how I was seeing life, the Miracle Morning helped me take action towards changing my life. This book is literally about building a routine and starting your day, dedicating the first hour of your day to yourself by turning inwards. It talks about savers. I went from dragging myself to wake up at 9 a.m., 10 a.m. to waking up at 5 a.m. I think at some point I started even waking up at 4 a.m. I would do the saver, just sit with my thoughts, sometimes meditate. This was me uprooting the thoughts, believe in whatever it is that didn't serve the version of me that I was choosing to create at this point. I would say this affirmation. I'll visualize the greatest, grandest version of me. At this point, I had put on so much weight. I'll do like cardio in the morning, and then in the evening I'll go for long walks, like an hour, over an hour, where I'll listen to books, affirmation, like things that that helps whatever it is that I had planted in my garden to grow and bear the right fruit. The things that of resonance that actually align with who you're becoming. Went from a size 14 to a size 10. Reading. This was where I also built my habit for reading. Like, I became a ferocious reader at this point. The book encourages you to do like a 30 days challenge. I did that myself the first time. I did the first 30 days. I did another 30 days. I did another 30 days. And then I was like, this is so good. I would love to invite other people to do it with me. So I created a community where we all do this challenge together. Then the last one is scribbling. For me, that was when I did like my gratitude challenge. So I got a journal. So I write 5 things I'm grateful for. But the 5th thing is something that is a prayer, but I write it as if it was done. This book changed my life because I felt joy again. I was happy to wake up every morning. I was always looking forward to do my savers. Third book on my list is Feeling is the Secret by Neville Goddard. Oh my God. I don't think I can count how many times I've read this book. That's how good this book is. I try as much as I can to read it at least once every year. There's an audio version on YouTube. I think it's just about less than an hour long. The book is also about your conscious and your subconscious mind, how your imagination shapes your life and how you can use it to manifest your dreams through your feelings. Little wonder why most of the books that were coming to me at the time were all about the mind, because at the time I was going through like a mental breakdown, just needed to rewire my mind. The book teaches you that your external world is shaped by how you feel and perceive things, like in your very core, not your head knowledge, because you can think something but you feel exact opposite. And when thought and feeling is put side to side, feelings will always win over thought, because we are energetic beings. Feelings are energy emotions. That's why it's called emotion. Energy in motion. Your perception shapes your reality, but your feeling is the fuel of that perception. Emotion is the fire behind your intention. He introduced a concept called going to sleep in your wishes fulfilled. Visualization, right? But this is deeper. You don't just visualize, you feel the feeling as though it has happened. If that thing was in your life right now, how would you feel? So he invites you, the reader, to just when you're about to go to sleep, think about that until you feel the emotion as if it's done. And once you feel that emotion, it tells you to drift to sleep in that emotion. Coming from a place of being depressed for 3 years, I was just visualizing living life more joyful, more at peace, calm. And I'm grateful that I began waking up with so much joy, so much peace and calm. Even when it seemed like the things around me at the time were not changing, I already changed inside of me. And guess what? Your inner world directs your outer world, as within, so without. So the fourth book that walked me through my journey was The Universe Has Your Back by Bernstein. I think so. At the point when this book came to me, I was going through the grief of losing my dad. I've always been a daddy's girl, so losing my dad made my life feel so empty without him. This book came into my life and assured me that I'm not alone. The story that Gabrielle shared reminded me that help or guidance is just one call or surrender away. The book taught me how to believe and trust in God in one of the toughest times of my life. She invites us to choose love over fear. There was also something she invited us to do in the book, which was to pick a sign. Let's assume that you're asking God for something, or you're praying for something. So basically your sign is more like a reassurance to show you that you're not alone. I remember I was having a conversation with God. There was something I was trusting for, and I was on the road at this point. I was like, okay, give me a sign. So when I read the book and she invited us to pick a sign, the sign I picked with God was the sunflower. So she'll tell you to pick something random, something that is not so common. So when you see it, you know for sure that it's actually a sign. I also bought I had like a small vase with sunflowers in it, where I kept on my shelf. So that day that I requested for a sign, guess what? I got home and my sunflowers were not in the vase on top of my shelf, they were on my pillow. And I knew that was a sign from God, because there was nobody in my house. I locked my door before I went out, and my flowers are not, there's no way that the flowers would have been on the bed except a power that we cannot see moved it there. And that just gave me the assurance and the confidence that I need to do what I needed to do. That's what the sign does. The book taught me how to follow my heart, my inner guidance, and how to surrender one step at a time. It helps you soften your control and allow doors to open without forcing them. The fifth book is Atomic Habits by James Clear. Miracle Morning taught me how to build a routine, to build habits, but Atomic Habit literally broke it down to the tiniest detail. I used to think that big changes requires big leaps, but James showed me the magic in the 1% shifts, the power of compounding, doing things at least 1% better, than the last time. Also, that consistency is not perfection. I used to think that consistency meant perfection, but I thought that consistency is not perfection, but getting up even when you fall. The author thought that what you do consistently becomes your identity. The you that you see today is a collection of repeated actions. If you don't like what you see right now, all you need to do is just change your actions at least 1% better every day. And then the most practical way to change who you are is to change what you do. Habits literally tears you down or builds you up. This is a book that I would recommend you read at least once every year. These books weren't just stories, they were lifelines that picked me up from a dark place that I was in, one chapter after another. Each one met me at a different layer of healing. Just maybe they are finding you at the right time too. So tell me in the comments, which book is calling you, or what book changed your life? Let's create a sacred reading list in the comments where we can all share and reflect. And if you'd love to read other books together as a spiritual club, let me know in the comments. So until my next post, I love you.